So today we finally get a chance to look at the Nokia T21 tablet that was just released in the United States, which is the follow-up to their T20 model. Current pricing on this is just under $240, but I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information. As far as some of the specs go, it's got 4 GB of RAM, 64 GB of storage. The processor in this one is a Unisoc T612. It's got a 10.36 inch LCD display, 1200 by 2000 resolution, 360 nits brightness. Also is going to work with an active pen or stylus. They upgraded the front facing camera to an 8 megapixel. Still has an 8 megapixel for the rear facing camera. It's got Bluetooth 5.0. You also get a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. I believe it's the same size battery, 8200 milliamp hours, but they upped the charging a little bit to 18 watts, where the previous I think was 15 watts. Also supports a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. Inside the box, you've got your micro SD card or SIM card tray, removal tool. So you've got your quick start guide, USB-C to USB-A charging cable, and a USB-A wall adapter. Okay, this actually looks and feels a little bit more high-end than the T20. Feels like you've got a metal material and then a plastic strip there on the side. A little bit different camera module there on the back as well. On the right-hand side, you've got your SD card or SIM card tray and your volume rocker. Power button there on the top. Then you've got a speaker on each side of the tablet. Charging port is there on the bottom. Still going with the odd placement for the headphone jack, sort of on the corner. One upgrade is this one has wide vinyl 1, so you'll be able to watch Netflix in HD playback. Then you can go up to 1080p resolution for YouTube videos. You'll also notice when you compare these two, I feel like the older T20 was a little bit more rounded here on the corners, where they squared off just a little bit more on the T21. Other than that, there's a lot of similarities though, as far as speaker and button placement, charging ports, and the headphone jacks are all pretty much in the same spots. Just a little bit different design here on the back, but everything else is going to be very similar between these two. I feel like the screen quality on here is going to be good enough for most people. Plus, I don't see any screen bleed issues like I've seen on the Tab S6 Lite 2022 edition. Kind of weird that you have to turn the tablet to do wallpapers, but I guess it's not that big a deal. Looks like you've got access to all the wallpapers from Google. Nokia includes 2 different ones. Just moving around the software actually feels like it's pretty smooth. It does sort of look like they took some of the animations out, just like they did with the Nokia T20. That always makes it feel a little bit faster. Now, if you're comparing performance on the T21 versus the T20, it's going to be pretty close, both in single core and multi-core scores. You are going to get a little bit different numbers if you're using Geekbench 5, but when you compare Geekbench 6, they're going to be almost identical, just slightly better on the T21. Now, as far as gaming on this tablet, it's not going to have the best graphics or the best performance. Keep in mind, this is not a gaming tablet, more of an entry-level tablet that can also do some gaming. It may just come down to what types of games you'll be playing on here, but if you compare the performance on this to the Nokia T20, they're actually going to be very similar. I also ran my typical battery drain test, which is a little more extreme than normal usage, at 100% screen brightness, and it lasted about 7 hours, which is close to the T20 tablet. The 18-watt fast charging still feels a little slow when charging, especially when compared to cell phones, but I'm sort of used to slower charging for tablets, and it's not really a deal breaker to me. Obviously, everyone's battery life is gonna vary because there's so many variables, but my first impressions is this one's a little above average when it comes to the battery life compared to other tablets I've tested. It comes with Android 12, and they're saying you get 2 major software updates, 3 years security updates. So you'll get Android 13 and 14. Not going to be the best out there as far as updates, but still better than some and is definitely a good start. Now, if you're not familiar with the software on Nokia tablets, they're actually really close to just stock Android. Just swipe up and you'll see all your pre-installed apps, mostly the ones from Google. There are a couple others like Netflix, Spotify, but of course it's going to let you uninstall those if you need to. Left of the home screen, you're gonna get the Google Entertainment space. If you're not gonna have Google Discover, this one's actually a pretty nice one to have. I kinda like it. It's a lot of the stuff that I would look for normally, and it's gonna give you stuff to watch, games to play, and stuff to read or listen to. You can also modify this widget here in the middle of the screen if you want. You've got most of your typical stuff up here in the notification shade, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Do Not Disturb, flashlight, device controls, auto rotate, airplane mode, battery saver. You've also got nightlight, screenshot, nearby share, and it looks like you've got second screen on here as well. Now you've got a speaker on each side of the tablet. While it may not be quite as loud as some of the other tablets that you've got for, I feel like these are plenty loud enough whether you're watching movies, playing games. Plus, don't forget you have that headphone jack there on the side as well. They do mention the speakers on here are about 96 decibels as far as how loud they are, so I went ahead and tested that. If you get right next to the speaker, it's gonna be in the 90s. Obviously, no one listens that close though. Still pretty loud for tablet speakers. Here's just a quick sample to give you an idea of just how loud these speakers are. Inside the camera app, it's pretty simple here. You've got video, photo, portrait, panorama. Not going to be the fastest shutter speed out there. I don't actually see anything on here where you can change the resolution for video. Maybe you only get one setting, so it doesn't allow you to change it. Let me give you a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea of what to expect. As far as camera quality goes, not gonna be the best out there. Same thing, if you're gonna use this for Zoom meetings, video conference calls, this wouldn't be my first option. I would probably just use my cell phone. But overall, I feel like it's pretty much what you would expect on a tablet like this. Overall, I feel like this tablet is just a small upgrade over the T20. And considering it's got Widevine L1 for apps like Netflix, just that alone may be a reason to get this over the T20. But I'll probably have to do a little more in-depth comparison of this and the Nokia T20. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.